emerged from between her legs. Melissa. Lara was a mess of blubbering tears and trembling fingers as she tried to button up her blouse and pull down her skirt. Melissa didn't speak, but her face was flushed, and her expression unreadable. Nat felt vomit rise in her throat as her legs went to jelly beneath her. She grabbed the doorframe to steady herself. Lara ran to her and took Nat's shoulders in her hands. Nat could feel Lara shaking her and recognized the words coming out of her mouth, but it was like Nat was underwater and sinking fast. "Why?" Nat managed to squeak out. Lara dropped to her knees and wept, and it was Melissa who stepped forward. "Nat, it just happened," Melissa said, her voice flat and emotionless compared to the sobbing pile that was Lara. "Please don't make a big deal out of it, okay?" "My best fucking friend?" She spit out like nails. "Honey, you know I love you. This was just... I didn't mean anything." Nat looked over to Lara, who choked on her tears, her face red and puffy. She looked so ashamed that Nat had to turn away because she started to feel sorry for her. "When?" Nat asked. "When? What?" Melissa replied. "When did this start?" Melissa bit her lip, and it was Lara whose broken voice rose just barely loud enough to hear. "A month ago?" Nat let out a harsh little laugh and quickly wiped away a tear as it trickled down her face. "A month? A fucking month?" "Lara, you should really learn to keep your mouth shut," snapped Melissa. She stepped closer to Nat until there was little space between them. "You know me. I'm just not good with being tied down. I want to for you, though. It's just hard." Melissa ran her fingers along Nat's shoulder, and Nat yanked her arm away. Melissa sighed. "Be the bigger person, Natalia. This doesn't have to change anything." Nat swallowed and steadied herself. "Oh, Melissa, this changes everything." Chapter 2. 8 months later. "Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, exclaimed Nat, as she and Paul hauled a Marshall Stack amplifier out of the van. "Sweet Jesus," Paul panted as he pushed the amp to the side. "You know, Nat, we really need to get a new roadie." Nat wiped a bead of sweat from her forehead. "Well, considering you slept with our last roadie and he ran out of the Denny's in St. Louis crying, I'm thinking perhaps you should hush and start working on those rippling biceps of yours." Paul smirked, and Nat couldn't help but laugh. "Nat, just because you have a strict no groupie or crew policy yourself doesn't mean the rest of us don't like to have a little fun now and then." He grabbed his kick drum and hoisted it high on his chest with a grunt. "I love you, babe, but sometimes you could stand to loosen up. You are a rock star, for Christ's sakes." "I'm not a rock star," she said with mock indignation, her shoulders held back. "I'm a moderately successful singer-songwriter." He rolled his eyes with a smile as she picked up a Zildjian cymbal from the floor of the van and spun it on her finger. "And see, I've got mad skills. This is what I do when you and Jackie are off partying and getting laid." The cymbal made a whooshing sound as it circled her finger. "Very nice. The ladies will be very impressed. By the way, where's Jackie?" He put down the drum and scanned the backstage area. "We could use a little help. I'll check the sound booth. She's probably offering her unsolicited advice to a very receptive sound man." Nat shielded her eyes from the stage lights and peered out into the house. "Jackie, can you get your cute little self up here and help Paul and me unload the rest of the van?" "Coming, darlings," called a lyrical British accent from the top of the house. "Tell Paul to quit..."